Guys, we're here to talk about this little girl. And no, you are not seeing a repeat story. This is a different girl. And I don't know what's going on here in America while we have all of these babies disappearing. But nonetheless, I want you to know some things about this little girl. Her name is Taylor Rose Williams. She's 5 years old. Let me turn this mic down just a little bit so I'm not too hot. But she's 5 years old, and this is coming out of Florida, okay? Now, Friday marks the third day that this 5-year-old girl has been missing, and she was reported by the police, and they also have a Amber Alert out for her. Now, the child was reported missing by her mom, who you can see right there in the screen. We're going to talk a little bit about the mom, but her name is Brianna Williams, and it's spelled B-R-I-A-N-N-A Williams, and this was on Wednesday around 7:20 a.m. Brianna Williams told police that she last saw her daughter. Again, her name is Taylor Rose Williams. The little girl was only 5 years old, but she told police that she last saw her daughter around midnight in their Brentwood home on the 600 block of Ivy Street. Okay, now the Florida Department of Law Enforcement issued an Amber Alert for her, which is still in effect currently. But here's some things that I need you guys to know. First of all, the mother is no longer cooperating with the police. That is a huge cause for concern. Her mother is no longer cooperating with the police, even though she was the one that initially made the report of the missing girl. Now, during a news conference on Thursday, Jacksonville Sheriff Mike Williams said, again, the mother, Brianna Williams, has stopped cooperating with the police. That is a red flag. We're talking to her about some inconsistencies. Remember that word, in her statement, and that's why she chose to stop cooperating with us. So some of the things that she reported did not make sense. They documented it, and they realized, wait a minute, something about what you're telling us does not seem right. And again, I think you absolutely should be able to give an accurate account of what happened to your 5-year-old daughter, because a lot of this is not making sense, okay? Brianna Williams was the last person to see baby Taylor, who you see right there on my screen, and we need for her to cooperate in this investigation. There's not one scenario or theory that we're not exploring, and every possibility is being looked at. And I'm going to tell you guys my personal feelings. I think we have another story where a mother has done something heinous or caused her daughter to end up being in a situation like this. I don't know if my channel members are in here. Can we get a big belly Bowens emoji in the chat? Can we get a triple B's in the chat? The big belly Bowens emoji? Because this reminds me a whole lot of the situation that happened in Houston and 3 or 4 other stories that we've done just in the past couple of months about these negligent mothers. All right? It seems like you have willing participants with the fathers. If you were to just give custody to the fathers, it seems like these girls would be perfectly fine. But what do? These girls end up missing. They end up like I don't know if y'all have noticed this also. A lot of the stories that have been coming out about these children being trafficked, I've got a lot of those stories I could do also. I can't do them all. I can't talk about them all. There are absolutely too many. Like these law enforcement agencies are doing a hell of a job, and they're busting these people that are actually sex trafficking these children. I am afraid, man. I don't know what's going on, okay? Now, JSO is also asking anyone who's seen Taylor Williams and Brianna together in the past 6 months to contact the police. If you know something, what is our saying? If you see something, please say something. If you see something, please say something. Now, JSO has said it's had more than 300 officers and personnel assisting in the search for Taylor. That is a lot of people looking for this baby, okay? Search parties were looking in the 2 major locations. One, near her Brentwood home on Ivy Street, and at Brianna Williams' prior address, and that address is 7651 Paradise Island Boulevard on the south side. Now, the search included K-9 units, mounted units, which is the cops on horseback, dive teams, so they were searching in the lakes, and going door to door for blocks. During a press conference on Thursday, JSO said it's scaling back on its search because that's a lot of man hours and that's a lot of people to be trying to contribute to this search in order to find this baby, especially if they don't have really any leads to go on, okay? Now, police are now investigating. Point number 3 about the baby's father. The father of Taylor Williams, his name is Maurice Tate, and it's spelled M-A-U-R-I-C-E, Tate, T-A-T-E, Maurice Tate. That's the father's name. So I'm glad that we've heard from the father. But he spoke to First Coast News by phone saying it's been a minute since he saw his daughter. Now, why does that sound so familiar? Because it seems like a lot of fathers out there can tell this story about the difficulty that they have to go through just in order to see their kid. They have to go through hoops. They have to go through the craziest stuff. They get berated by the mothers just in order to try to see the child. Like, why would a person try to put you through so much bullshit to see your kid and then expect for you, well, you got to just fight through it. Just fight through it, bro. Anybody who thinks that a man should continue to just keep fighting through it, I think are stupid people. Anybody who says that, I think they're stupid people. You don't need to keep fighting. There's no reason to keep just continuing to just fight a pointless ass fight when the system is set up for men to not be able to gain custody of their kids and for mothers to continue to just keep drawing money out your check and then talking crazy to you. You know what? If they're going to take your money, then just like my brother Tommy said, shout out to my brother Tommy Sotomayor, I understand. I understand if you walk away, because in most situations, if the man does walk away, then it saves the kid. For a man that actually is trying to make an effort to see their kid, it actually puts them in more danger because the mom wants to prevent that. Another case would be the Ania Garrett case. How many of y'all remember that out of Cuyahoga, Ohio? I did that story as well. And we talked about that when the father, Michael Garrett, wanted to get custody of his daughter, and it seems like he was going to get custody. So the mom, 4 days before their court date, her and her boyfriend killed the baby. About the same baby's age. All of these stories have a huge correlation, okay? Now, the father lives out of state, and he's been in communication with JSO, but didn't give an indication if he intends to actually come to Jacksonville, because I'm sure he probably has to try to work and probably has home responsibilities in order to take care and have a place for him to have his head, okay? Now, First Coast News spoke to a colleague who works with Brianna Williams, and he described her to be a kind-hearted person who was always smiling, willing to go out of her way to help others. But when she returned to work on Thursday, she was sad. She was really sad, like someone cried their last tear, he said, which is, I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. Brianna Williams, and let me see if I can get that photo back up on the screen, because I want y'all to take a look at this photo, because it's very, very important. It's an important element of the story. Let me get back to her military photo if I can find it. This one. Brianna Williams, the mother, is a first-class petty officer who works in the Tactical Operations Center in NAS Jacksonville. The colleague, who was asked to remain anonymous, said Brianna Williams was dressed in uniform when she returned to work. He also said that she spent Wednesday at JSO. So it seems like that she was a part of the military. I'm not sure of the level of that, but nonetheless, that's an important piece. Here's the next point. Tiffany Nicole said that she and her fiance responded to a Craigslist ad. I don't know how many of y'all still use Craigslist. I stopped using Craigslist a long time ago. But nonetheless, Tiffany Nicole said that her and her fiance responded to Craigslist by Brianna Williams on a Sunday asking for help moving into her Brentwood area home from the Southside apartment complex. And while helping her move in, Nicole said that she never saw Taylor Williams during the move. The strange thing was that the strange thing that was off to me. I don't know why they use so many of those words together. What was off to me was that she told my fiance there was a daughter in the bathroom and she heard the water running, she said, but we never saw the child. We did load up a pink and purple toddler bed. Here's the last point. The Florida Crime Stoppers also issued a reward for up to $4,000 for anyone with information that can help find this baby. And again, you can also find their Twitter feed, which is at FCC Crime Stop. It has enhanced the reward up to $4,000 in this case, and they ask that if you have any information, call the phone number 866-845-8477. And if you guys can't hear, if it's buffering, do not fret. We will upload the replay of the story here tomorrow, so you guys will be able to watch this stream without any type of buffering. So I apologize for you guys that are watching live, but apparently this is going to be an ongoing issue, okay? Let's go ahead and give you guys the fair usage, and let's go ahead and tell the rest of this story and let you guys hear from the news. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
It is now day 4 in the search for 5-year-old Taylor Rose Williams. The little girl first reported missing early Wednesday morning, but now the sheriff's office says she might have been missing for weeks, if not months. The sheriff says Taylor's mother has stopped cooperating with law enforcement. On your sides, Kaylee Tracy is traveling to Birmingham, Alabama, investigating that state's connection to Taylor Williams' disappearance. Jacksonville Sheriff Mike Williams says most of Taylor's extended family lives in Alabama. The little girl's dad lives in Montgomery. And yesterday, we went to talk to his home to talk with him. He told us he had no comment regarding the little girl's disappearance. And Kaylee now brings us up to date in the search.
It's just brought back that same thing, that anxiety of, hoping that they find her, and that stress of that. It just bothers me.
1 month ago, Crystal Bryant's Bakery helped in the community efforts to find 3-year-old Camille McKinney, nicknamed Cupcake.
Everybody, came together to look for her. And that was the first time, I think, since I've lived here, I've ever seen all of us on one accord. Everybody on one accord. Everybody looking for this baby.
Bryant held a fundraiser for reward money in Cupcake's disappearance. That girl went missing. Her body was found in a landfill a few weeks later.
Everybody put up their purple ribbons. The city hall was purple because that was her favorite color.
She says hearing about Taylor's disappearance reopens this city's wound.
We were all reliving it again. It's like we were just looking for a 3-year-old. Now this is a 5-year-old baby. These are babies.
Bryant says watching Jacksonville come together to find Taylor also reminds her of Birmingham's search for Cupcake.
As a community, we need to be the supporters. So for Jacksonville, I'm hoping that they can all stick together, stay together, and continue to pray and hope that they can find the baby.
Just 1 month after helping with the search for one missing little girl, Bryant says she's willing to help again.
I've been sharing Taylor. I share everybody's who's missing, because any way I can help, I want to be able to help.
The search for a missing 5-year-old girl is intensifying today after her mother stopped cooperating with police. An Amber Alert was issued after Taylor Williams was reported missing Wednesday in Jacksonville, Florida, but investigators say it's been weeks since she was last seen. Maria Villarreal is outside her home in Jacksonville, Florida right now. Maria, good morning to you. Does this mean that investigators are now focusing on the mother?
Well, good morning, Gail. Right now, the sheriff is telling us that they are exploring every possibility. Brianna Williams said when she woke up Wednesday morning, her daughter was gone. But the sheriff is now saying there are some inconsistencies in her story.
Search teams have knocked on more than 600 doors, looking inside dumpsters, and divers scouring a nearby lake, hoping to find 5-year-old Taylor Williams.
I feel bad, and that's our job, to help find this little girl.
And while nothing substantial has been found, volunteers say they don't want to give up until they find out what happened to her.
We know that Brianna Williams was the last person to see Taylor, and we need for her to cooperate with us.
Sheriff Mike Williams says Taylor's mom, Brianna, was initially working with police, but is now no longer cooperating.
We were talking to her about some inconsistencies in her statement, and that's when she chose to stop cooperating with us.
The young girl's mother reportedly told police when she woke up Wednesday morning, Taylor wasn't in her bedroom and the back door was open. But Sheriff Williams says investigators do not believe the 5-year-old walked away from the home. Law enforcement curtailed search efforts Thursday evening. Over the weekend, Taylor's family moved out of this apartment complex. Tiffany Nicole says she helped them Sunday.
The whole 45 minutes we were there loading things up, I never once saw a child.
It is strange because I'm like, I didn't even know she had a little girl.
Investigators are asking anyone who's seen Taylor with her mother in the area in the last 6 months to call police.
So we remain hopeful that we'll find Taylor. We're not going to stop in our efforts to locate her.
That woman's name is Tiffany Nicole, and the two met after Williams posted an ad on Craigslist asking for help with moving into her new place. Now, what's interesting is that Nicole says that she never saw a child, even though Williams mentioned that she had one.
When I went up to the door wasn't shut all the way. It was open about an inch.
Tiffany Nicole recalls the moment she met Brianna Williams on Sunday. Nicole answered an ad on Craigslist and agreed to help Williams move from her Southside apartment to this home in Brentwood.
And as soon as I reached up my hand to go knock on the door, that's when Miss Brianna opened the door.
Nicole says when she arrived at Williams' apartment, she noticed a few things out of the ordinary.
For one, she told my fiance that there was a daughter in the bathroom and he heard water running.
But Nicole said neither she nor her fiance ever laid eyes on little Taylor.
We never saw a child. We did load up a pink and purple toddler bed onto that trailer and took it to the Ivy house, but that was it as far as kid relation goes.
She said Williams' behavior was also unusual.
She wasn't really communicative with anybody and she was very short. And then when we left to go to the house over there off of Ivy, when we got to that home, you know, the doors were already open on the house. She didn't even have to walk up there to unlock the doors or anything. They were wide open, and she went straight to the back where...
I don't understand how you are the last person that had your kid. You are the last person that saw your kid. You stop answering questions after you give a story that does not make any fucking sense. And then she just, I'm going to just stop answering questions. I'm sorry, but how is that not an arrestable offense? Some people are saying that there are loopholes in the system. I just do not understand this. You can't account for an entire human being and you're not going to be arrested for that? Like, come on, like, where's the accountability? But that's, then again, that's what we talk about a lot here, is the accountability is missing. There's absolutely no way. There's no way that you are the last person with this kid and you can't explain for shit where your own 5-year-old kid is. Sorry, that makes no sense at all. Let's move on.
There's like a 2-car concrete garage in the back. And she just stood there in the back of the corner with her phone in her hand doing nothing.
Nicole says it took about 2 hours to finish the job, and when it was time to leave, Williams stayed behind in the same place.
Didn't appear to be in a hurry, and when we left, you know, she was still standing in that garage.
And Nicole also said that Williams actually overpaid her. The two had initially agreed to do the job for $250, but Williams actually ended up paying $300 to complete the job. For now, reporting live, Cameron Leppinger, First Coast News.
Maybe it's buffering. Maybe you guys can't hear that part. I want y'all to hear that again. Listen again. Let me know that y'all can hear what he just said. She offered an amount of money to help her move into her new place. This black woman gave them, thank you, somebody heard it. This black woman, knowing that black women in general, hashtag not all, hashtag don't get in your feels, but normally our people are, we act like we're strapped for cash, right? Matter of fact, think about this. We have a problem going to restaurants, and I want y'all to hear me dearly on this one. We have a problem going to restaurants and tipping the person, the waiter, or whoever waits on us, tipping them $5, tipping them $10 for a meal that we had. But she's going to tip this woman extra money for really no reason other than doing the job that she contracted them for and going to pay them more. An extra $50 tip. Really? What black people y'all know do that? Where they at? Huh? Where are the black people out there that would tip somebody an extra $50? Now, I will tell you this. Let me see. You said you're just tuning in. I'm a new subscriber. Love your videos. Well, thank you very much. I definitely appreciate that. I try to give you guys a fair assessment of what I see going on in our communities, in our world, in our United States of America. I just want parents to be a hell of a lot more responsible for our children and stop abusing, misusing, and killing our children. That's really all we stand for, the advocates for children. That's what we are. So I appreciate you being here. So I'll say some things that might seem inflammatory sometimes, but if you think about it or listen a little bit longer, I am very, very fair with all situations, with all races, regardless of whether it's something political or something that's more of a social issue, right? That's pretty much what we stand for, okay? When have y'all ever known black people to tip an extra $50? I know white people that do it. I know Mexican people that do it. I know a lot of other races of people that do it. I have never known for black people to just throw on some extras just for the hell of it. Never known it to happen. Never known it to happen. Never, maybe I'm dumb. Maybe it's a ton of black people out there that would just give away free money. I don't know. I don't know.
And Nicole also said that Williams actually overpaid her. The two had initially agreed to do the job for $250.
I'm sorry, black people don't overpay for anything. Matter of fact, how many of these motherfuckers do y'all see going to the McDonald's and complaining about the dollar value menu? They go up in the Wendy's, they go up in Popeyes, they go up in all of these trash ass food places, Taco Bells, wherever else. Pizza, when they order a pizza to the house, y'all don't see them tipping no $50. I'm just saying, I got a ton of videos that I need to try to post in our group, but there's a ton of people continuing to post videos of people fighting in the goddamn Popeyes over some $5 chicken. So you mean to tell me niggas is fighting over $5 chicken and $5 chicken sandwiches and $5 value meals and Happy Meals and all of this other bullshit that don't cost anything, that is literally not worth the cost of production because it's fake food? But we'll talk about that another day. If y'all like eating steroid-laced food, then it is what it is. I feel you. I'm not going to be mad at you. I'm just not going to give it to me and my children, right? But nonetheless, I have never known black people to overpay for anything. Matter of fact, y'all know this to be a fact. Whenever black people be like, oh man, you can't give me the hookup, man. Oh man, yeah, I get paid, man, in a couple weeks, man. You think you can loan me something? You think you can, you know what I'm saying? Niggas is the kings of and queens of finessing. Tell me, am I lying? Niggas is the kings of finessing. Nickel and diamond motherfuckers. There's no way that I'm going to believe that this woman was being, this black woman, this black mother was just being benevolent and giving these white people an extra $50. Just, here, let me go ahead and give you a little extra. Bullshit. I don't believe it. No day of the week.
And Nicole also said that
we are always looking for discounts. Thank you, Bolo. That's what I'm saying. Thank you, Wesley. You know what I was trying to say. Y'all know some of these sayings that black people say. Come on, dog. Hook me up, dog. Hook your boy up, man. We boys. We black on black business, man. Hook me up. We want to support you, man. I know the meal is $20, man, but you give it to me for $10. I know you didn't pay all that money for all that product. You can hook me up, man. Niggas is not overpaying for a goddamn thing.
When we left, she was still standing in that garage.
300 police officers who could have been out fighting crime in Duval County instead were knocking on doors. So for anybody who needed police assistance and was wondering, well, damn, how come did it take 30 minutes for the police to get here? Well, they got 300 of them looking for one little girl that the mother is lying. That bitch is lying about the whereabouts of her kid. Wasting everybody's time. I get absolutely sick of dive teams looking for these babies. They're on horseback. They're walking. They're driving. They're digging through trash. They're looking through, knocking on people's doors. Going through all of that when the people who last had them know where the kids are. That is problematic, and they're wasting everybody's precious time and resources. I'm sorry, but for people that pay taxes, y'all ought to be pissed off about that. Y'all that live out there in that area in Duval County, she's wasting y'all county tax dollars. Wasting all y'all money, okay?
Biographical data obtained from the Navy shows mother Brianna Williams moved to Jacksonville.
So there's her middle name, Shantae. So if y'all want to look her up specifically, it's Brianna Shantae, Shontae Williams. That will lead you to her specifically.
In April 2018 from the Carrier Airborne Early Warning Squadron in Norfolk, Virginia. The mother, once a valedictorian for her high school, has been awarded 9 times for her service. The awards ranging from a Global War on Terrorism Expeditionary Medal to a National Defense Service Medal. Some neighbors in Brentwood, where her daughter was reported missing Tuesday, say she'd only moved in a week prior.
And you know what? That's sad how she could be given all of these medals and she's so educated. And this is something that Tommy talks about that I think about a lot. I think about this a lot, about how our sisters try to claim that they're so educated. And I'm like, okay, fine, they're educated. I know they're the most enrolled, but they're educated. I get it, all right? But the thing is when you don't take that education and that background and employ it in the proper way, and you just make a bunch of dumb ass decisions, to me, all of that education, all of that training, all of these accolades that you've been given, to me, doesn't mean shit if you treat your kids like shit. Y'all hear me? All of those special little pats on the back that she got and all of that good stuff, and I don't think any of that means a damn thing if you treat your kids like shit. It means nothing.
And they'd never seen her with 5-year-old Taylor.
Yeah, my kids play out here often and they didn't see anybody, any child. It's really sad because it's really close, too close for comfort for me, and I hope they find the child alive.
I'm gonna let y'all hear her statement again. She said all that time they were living there, she never saw a kid. Somebody said she moved to the worst part of town. Well, you'd have to tell me because I'm not familiar with Florida like that, so I'll trust your word on that.
Yeah, my kids play out here often and they didn't see anybody.
Wow.
Any child. It's really sad because it's really close, too close for comfort for me, and I hope they find the child alive.
The mayor of Jacksonville echoing the call from detectives as day 3 of the search for Taylor comes to an end.
It's terrible. You know, I've been in touch talking to the sheriff every day since the search began. You know, they're in the same situation, same scenario. They're asking people in public, the citizens, if anyone has seen her with her mom in the last 6 months, to reach out to JSO. But, you know, our first responders and members of the community are out looking.
Sheriff Williams says police do not know the last time the little girl was seen alive by anyone other than her mom. Sources tell News4Jax cadaver dogs made a positive hit on her mother's car, meaning there could be evidence of decomposition. The little girl was seen alive by anyone other than her mom. Sources tell News4Jax cadaver dogs made a positive hit on her mother's car, meaning there could be evidence of decomposition.
A positive hit on the car for decomposition.
6 months. If police do not know the last time the little girl was seen alive by anyone other than her mom. Sources tell News4Jax cadaver dogs made a positive hit on her mother's car, meaning there could be evidence of decomposition inside. We have several crews covering this story, and we begin with News4Jax reporter Jim.
Like, I understand it's something you can't send her to prison for, but I think that's something you ought to be able to hold her in jail over. You guys kind of understand where I'm coming from? When they talk about evidence, that information right there could be used as evidence to say that the cadaver dogs made, let me see, human decomposition is undeniable. Dogs are trained. Thank you, Don Love. That's part of what I'm saying. Like they're saying a positive hit, meaning that they are positive that the dog sent something that would be an indication of decomposition of a human being. Like they trained them to know the difference. To me, that's something that you can hold her in jail over, as opposed to leaving her out there in society and she could continue to keep covering up her tracks. Keep in mind, she was in the military. She's not a dummy. She's very smart, and she might be able to get away with this the longer they leave her out of jail. Hold her in jail, not necessarily prison. You do prison time when you're convicted in court. You do jail time when you're being held in lieu of evidence.
Piggott, who just spoke to the sheriff within the past hour. Jim.
You know, this is the first time that we've heard from the sheriff since the little girl went missing. He had a lot to say, but there were a lot of questions, though, that he would not answer.
Baby Moore asked a very pertinent question. Did this little girl go to any school? She was 5 years old. Maybe she was going to pre-K. Maybe she was in daycare. We don't know. Don said a dead human has a distinct smell. I've heard that. I don't know it to be a fact. I don't ever want to smell a dead human, but I've heard that it is very, very distinct.
Number one, he would say that Brianna Williams, that is Taylor's mother, was not cooperating with them at all. She started to cooperate at first, and now she's basically just shut down at this point. He also says that she's not been arrested, and she is no longer here at JSO. Now, the main thing, and as you had mentioned before that he's telling us, is that nobody can say when that little Taylor was last seen alive, other than her mother, within the last 6 months. And the sheriff is very concerned about that. Here's what he said.
So we're still asking the public's help with providing us any additional detail they can about Taylor's whereabouts. Specifically, we are asking that anyone who has seen Taylor and Brianna Williams together in Jacksonville within the last 6 months to reach out to us and let us know.
It was interesting. I was asking the sheriff about what school or kindergarten that Taylor attended. He said they didn't have that information. The only thing they knew is that she was at daycare at NAS Jax. Again, anybody that has seen those two together, they are urged to call the sheriff's department. The police, we also asked about the Department of Children and Families, if they had investigated this family here. The sheriff wouldn't comment on that at all. He really wouldn't comment about the evidence that they've obtained as well from the car or from the apartment and the house. And the sheriff also said that police in Alabama has also been contacted, and they are investigating this as well. It was in Alabama where Taylor's father lives, and the family had moved from there at one time too. So there is concern there, and since obviously she had not been seen by many people within the last 5 months, that's what they really are hoping to focus on at this time. And the sheriff also says that they continue to look at evidence, and we did ask him what would it take for Taylor's mother to become a suspect. Here's what he said.
Sheriff, would you call the mother a person of interest in this case?
So at this point, again, nothing's off the table. So, we won't take the steps to say she's a suspect in the case, but we do know this. We do know that her daughter is missing. She was the last person to see her. We do not believe that she walked away.
Now, I've been out in the Brentwood area for the past day and a half, and today there's a sign of showing what's happened out there. The command post is coming down. They had over 600 officers at a time working on this case. The sheriff.
600 human beings. Somebody, can y'all type a 600 in the chat if y'all are listening? That's how much resources they've invested. And I want y'all to think about this. For all the people that continue to keep saying that white people are bad, white people are this and that, these benevolent white people continue to keep donating to you niggas GoFundMes and looking for your nigga kids. I'm going to say that again. They continue to keep donating to your nigga GoFundMes and looking for your nigga kids. And y'all keep trying to talk about that they're racist whites, when it's nothing but whites trying to help find these babies. When y'all are in trouble, who you gonna call? Certainly not motherfucking Ghostbusters. You call the damn same white police that you complain about. You call the popo to come over there, come help you out. And then what do you do when the popo get over there? You complain about what the popo do. I'm sorry, but I think that, I wouldn't be surprised if these so-called racist people just decide to take a step back and say, you know what? Y'all fix your own shit. Police yourselves, handle your own business. It is what it is. Would you be happy then? First and foremost, I want you guys to remember this little girl's face. That is 5-year-old Taylor Williams, Taylor Rose Williams. And she is currently still missing. We have hope that she's only missing as opposed to being deceased. But I'm going to tell you guys, if she's been missing this amount of time, and I'm going to tell you guys something. First and foremost, the cadaver dogs, based on the information they've reported, made a hit on the mother's car for a human decomposing body. Made a positive hit. That's why I believe that she should be arrested for that alone. But I'm sure they're probably just, like somebody said in the chat earlier, they're probably just trying to give her enough rope to hang herself. Okay? My next point is the fact that the father seemed like he wanted to be active. Again, the father's name is Maurice Tate. He's the biological father. And based on what he said it's been a minute since he last saw his daughter. And if he says a minute, that we don't know how long that could be. That could have been a year, maybe all 5 years. We don't know. But the fact that this woman has military training, very bright, and the fact that this person decided to just stop cooperating, in my opinion, that is not the behavior of a good parent. How many of you guys agree with that? I'm going to say that again. The fact that this mother is not cooperating or stopped cooperating, stopped giving answers, to me, that indicates a person's guilt, and that is the sign of a bad parent. To me, that is a huge ass red flag, and I fear the worst for this baby. I wish as a father, I wish I could make 100 more me's. I wish there were 100 more me's, because I would absolutely try to be a father to as many of these children as I could to try to protect them. I feel sorry for the family of this kid. To Maurice Tate, to brother, if you're listening, to you, I would encourage you to get in contact with me. Email me. I'd be more than happy to allow you to borrow my platform to be able to speak your voice about this story and tell me what you think. But I fear the worst in this story, but we will definitely give you guys an update regardless of what happens. We'll definitely use our platform to continue to advocate for children first. We are the AFC. The people in the chat are the AFC. The people who are channel memberships in that chat, you see them. They are the AFC as well. You know why? Because we advocate for the babies first. Taylor Rose Williams, I'm going to say a prayer for you tonight, sister. And I hope that we find you, but we hope that we find you healthy, alive, and breathing. That's what we hope to report next, okay? I love you guys from my heart to yours. Y'all have a blessed night. Prayer hands up, man. Peace.